Hi everybody, welcome to Park Yoga Shorts. Today we're going to have a session that's going to focus on the upper body because we often really neglect that. My name is Caroline and I am from Park Yoga in Poole. And Park Yoga, if you don't know already, is a wonderful charity that provides free yoga every Sunday over the summer. In the hope that we can kind of build this positive and great feeling of well-being through being out in nature and moving our bodies and breathing, and hopefully we can, pass that on. If you know someone who's never done Park Yoga or never tried one of our videos, see if you can convince them to come along to a session or to participate in one of our videos and see how they feel. So we're going to start by just taking a few shoulder rolls back and down and then forwards. So get our shoulders moving, then take a breath in, and when you're ready to exhale, reach all the way up, just in your own time, bring your hands down. Good. And again, when you're ready to breathe in, come up, lengthen the spine, sit up really tall, relax your legs wherever they are, and as you come down, you're going to take your wrists and circle them, move your hands, see if you can have a little bit of a stretch through the wrists. Good. Okay, and again we're going to breathe in and come up again, and this time as you exhale we're going to move our fingers, so create some space in our hands as you breathe out really slowly and bring the hands down. Excellent. Okay, so drop the chin down to the chest. We're going to think about stretching the back of the neck. So let the back of the neck stretch and just start to move your head really gently from side to side, maybe like a tiny little half circle, and just place your awareness in that neck and those shoulders. How does it feel? How does one side feel compared to the other side? Excellent, wonderful. Okay, so clasp your hands, reach out in front of you. Think about stretching the upper back. So pull the shoulders forwards and almost separate the shoulder blades. So you're stretching those muscles between the shoulder blades. And then open the hands out, take them out to the sides and behind your back, and then draw your shoulder blades together. And then if you want to, you can clasp your hands behind your back and really squeeze the shoulder blades together and push the rib cage and the chest forwards as you stretch across the front of the body. Good, excellent. Okay, release from there. We're going to take the right arm up and over and kind of just take your left arm out to the side. Keep both your sit bones on the mat and lengthen the side of the body. Good. Okay, up we come. Left arm is going up and over. And the same thing, if you press your left sit bone down into the mat, really reach your arm up and over, you can create some length down the side of the body. Okay, good, come up. So we're going to take the right arm across, just rest it on the outside of the left leg, but bring your left shoulder back and gently rotate your rib cage. You can turn your chin to look over your left shoulder. Good, and then come back, do the other side. So the left hand comes across, the right shoulder rotates back. And then we come back to face the front. Okay, so clasp the hands again in front of you. This time we're going to lift the hands up, bring your upper arms either side of your ears, okay? Or as close to there as you can. So we're starting to kind of mobilize the shoulders a little bit. So just like the feeling that we have in our down dog where we have our hands on the floor, this is the same feeling in the shoulders, okay? Good. And then if you can still see your arms, just see if you can exhale and bring them further back, okay? Good. Okay, release and bring the arms down. So we're going to come onto all fours. So knees under our hips, hands under our shoulders. And what I want you to do from here is to bring your weight forwards into the hands, fingertips facing the front, and just bring your shoulders forwards and stretch the back of your wrists or the insides of your wrists. So we're getting a lovely stretch here as we just lean forwards but press the palms of the hands down into the mat. Brilliant. Okay, come back, and this time turn the fingertips out to the side. So the wrists still roughly under the shoulders, and we're just going to move from side to side. So similar stretch all through the wrists, pressing your fingers in the palm of your hand down into the mat. Good, okay. Release from there. Now finally we're going to take this one really, really carefully. So we're going to sit onto our heels to start off with. You're going to place the back of your hand onto the mat. So the fingertips are facing towards your legs, and just really gently keep the arms as straight as you can. So keep the elbows as straight as you can and press the back of the hands down into the mat. And then once you've got those straight arms, you can sort of just lean back a little bit and increase that stretch. And this is so good for you, especially if you hold your phone a lot. You get that tension down here. This is going to stretch all of that out. Also good if you use a mouse a lot. Maybe you're on your laptop or you're on your computer. But hopefully you can feel that. Again, it should feel a bit uncomfortable maybe, but not unbearable. Okay, wonderful. Come up. So just release the hands, give them a little bit of a movement. It's quite intense, a hand and wrist stretch. Okay, fantastic. So we're going to come down onto our mat. We're going to come onto our front. So lie yourself down on the mat. And you're going to reach out with your right hand along the floor, so about shoulder height. Then you're going to press your shoulder into the floor and roll back on yourself. So you can let your head drop and rest on the mat, or you can kind of rest it on your other arm. We really want to just press the shoulder down into the mat. And keep rolling as far as you can for you to feel the stretch. If you need to go a little bit further, go a little bit further. And then if you want a little bit extra, I'm going to show you a little trick that you can do. Take your other hand over the top and clasp your fingers together. So I want you to just stay there for a little bit longer, a couple more breaths, opening out across the chest, whichever level you're taking that stretch to. Maybe you haven't managed to clasp your hands together, that's absolutely fine. That can be really intense. You have to be quite flexible to do that. But yeah, just think about that opening out of the chest and the front of the shoulder, where we hold all that tension usually as we're hunched up doing whatever we're doing. We're really, really going to open out this little bit here, okay? So when you're ready, unclasp your hands if you haven't done already and roll back onto your front. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So reach out the other arm. And then have a little press down, roll back on yourself. Rest your head if you need to. And just press the shoulder down, feel that stretch. Keep breathing really deeply. If you need to, if you want to, take this other hand up and over and see if you can find your fingers behind you. And just take some deep breaths. So wherever you are, however far you've rolled, whatever your arms are doing, as long as you can feel this stretch here, as this underneath shoulder is back, that is perfect. Okay, good. Let us unfold and come back up. Lift yourself up onto all fours. Take your knees apart, your toes together. Push back to child's pose. Reach your hands out in front of you. And then you're going to walk your hands over to the left. So you have this lovely side bend, but in your child's pose. You really feel it in your right shoulder and armpit, so press your armpits down towards the mat. Okay, then I want you to take your left hand, arm, reach it through underneath, still sitting back into child's pose. Take a little look underneath your right arm and bring this left shoulder underneath you, so you're taking a rotation in the back. Just rest your head and take some deep breaths. Okay, so you're going to stay there for a little bit as we just take some deep breaths. And each time you exhale, see if you can bring your underneath shoulder round and through underneath you a little bit more. Okay, and you're just kind of increasing that rotation a little bit every single time. Okay, breathing deeply and letting ourselves sink down into the mat and getting that lovely stretch just through the torso, sides of the torso and the back. Okay, wonderful. So we're going to come up. We're going to come back to child's pose with the hands in the center. And you're going to walk your hands over to the right this time and sink the left shoulder down. Okay, then you're going to take that right arm, take it all the way under, take your right shoulder underneath you, and do your rotation in the other direction. Look under that armpit, sink down this shoulder underneath you, and just kind of relax there. Start to take some breaths, and let's kind of get ourselves into that position. It's like thread the needle pose, but it's just a little bit of a variation on that. Okay, so nice deep breaths. As you exhale, you might get the opportunity to take the underneath shoulder through a little bit more, okay? And that just increases the rotation for you. Okay, then unfold, come back to child's pose. This time we're going to turn the palms towards each other, bring them together, press the elbows down, bend the elbows and put the fingertips up towards the ceiling. And again, just take some deep breaths here. Sink your chest and your rib cage lower and lower, your armpits lower and lower. And if you don't feel anything, see if you can walk your elbows through a little bit more out in front of you and lengthen that spine so you get the opportunity to get some real mobility in the shoulders. Okay, release those hands back to child's pose and then come up. Wonderful. Okay, so we're going to come up to face the front. And what we're going to do is we're going to tuck the left leg underneath us as much as we can and see if we can cross the right leg over the top. And I want you to keep your sit bones on the mat. So if that crossover means you lift your sit bones, just move your foot back in line, and then you can really press the sit bones down and we're really, really grounded, okay? Crossing over will just increase the feeling of stretch. So you're going to take the left arm out to the side, wrap it round, and take your right shoulder to the back. Now you can kind of hug your thigh, or you can tuck your elbow in and use it to give yourself a little push. We really want to have a lovely upright straight spine. And again, just hold this here for a few breaths, really slow and controlled. Okay, good, release, come back to the front. We're going to unfold that leg. We're going to come to cross legs. We're going to put the right leg in front if you can. If not, you can just sit however is comfortable on the floor, okay? You're going to take the arms out. You're going to lift the left hand up, still sitting up nice and tall. You're going to bend the elbow, reach the left hand down between your shoulder blades, and just press the elbow through, stretching out the triceps. You can also hold on over the top like this, but make sure you do this sometimes. And we want to avoid that. We want to sit up really tall and still be able to see our neck. So the final choice, you can take your hand underneath and see if you can find your fingers and clasp the two hands together behind you. Okay, so keep the back nice and straight, and we're just going to take a tilt forwards from the hips. So keep the head up in line. So a big stretch through the triceps. Good, and then come up. Excellent. Release those hands. Take a few shoulder rolls. We're going to take the hands out again, and this time we're going to bring them together. We're going to make eagle pose with our arms. So we're going to take the left arm underneath. So the right elbow is kind of in the bent part of the left elbow. And you're going to take your fingertips up to the ceiling, and they're going to face up. If you want to, you can wrap your hands together, your arms together. And we're going to take the fingertips up. So it depends on what flexibility you have in your shoulders and your arms, etc. Or even how big your biceps are. You know, if you have large muscles, then it's not as easy to do this. So take the fingertips up, lift the elbows, and the more you lift, the more stretch you're going to get in the shoulders. Take some deep breaths. So feel a big stretch in the arms and the shoulders. Okay, good, and release. So unfold all of that, clasp your hands behind you, have a little reset by stretching across the chest. Take your hands out behind you as straight as you can with the elbows and see if you can tilt forwards. Lift the clasped hands really high behind you. Good, and then come up. Excellent. So we're going to switch the legs around. We're going to tuck the right leg underneath us, and you're going to cross the left one over if you can do that with your sit bones on the mat. If not, just shift this one over on the other side of the knee. Okay? Take the right arm out, lift up tall, and then rotate. Give your left thigh a little bit of a hug, or use the elbow to give yourself a little bit of an extra push round. So the left shoulder is moving round to the back and your chin is following. take some really deep breaths. Do not forget to breathe deeply, okay? Okay, lovely. Release and come back to face the front. Now we're going to come to cross legs, so the opposite way to what we did before, so the left leg at the front. We're going to take the hands out, we're going to bring the right arm up, and we're going to do that tricep stretch again. So as we bend the elbow, we're going to try and keep the elbow sticking up towards the ceiling. And then you've got that push, or that pull, or you take your hand underneath. I'm going to move my ponytail out of the way. And clasp your fingers together. So yeah, don't grab your hair because it's not, that's not comfortable. So sit up really tall. Let's have a huge stretch on this tricep here. And keep your chest lifted, but hinge forwards from the hips. Good, so keep going, keep going, keep going. And then come up gently and release the hands. Good, roll your shoulders back to get that rebalance. Okay, awesome. So this time we're going to take the hands out to the sides again. We're going to bring them in front, and this time the right arm is going to go underneath. And you've got that choice. You can take the kind of backs of the palms towards each other, or you can keep wrapping the hands, the arms together. So again, sit up really tall, lift your elbows up higher, eagle pose arms, nice deep breaths. Each time you breathe out, just see if you can lift a little bit further up. Okay, fantastic. Let us release those arms. Good. Okay, so we are going to unfold the legs. We're going to come up. And we're going to take our feet wide. So just as wide as you can, feel an inner thigh stretch. So you feel nice and comfortable. I want you to turn your right toes out and take a side lunge over to the right. And just a little stretch over the top. And then I just want you to take an arm circle. See if you can open out that shoulder. You can lean on the thigh a little bit. This knee is going to be above this ankle. Good. Okay, we're going to come into the center. We're going to turn both sets of toes out now. We're going to squat really low, take our hands out to the side. And then you're going to do the same. We're going to do a side bend, over and reach. So press your feet down, press your knees out, lengthen, reach away with your fingertips, side bend. Good. Okay, come all the way up and all the way over. Side bend. Sink the hips down. So the lower you go, the more intense it is for the legs. You can come up a little bit higher if that feels better. Good. Okay. Let's come back up. And then finally, we're going to turn the left toes all the way out. Bring the right toes in a little bit and take your side lunge again. Let the hips drop, this knee over this ankle, and all the way over into your stretch. Good. Okay, we're going to come up. You're going to turn both sets of toes to the front and take a hinge forwards, forward fold. So let your head keep going until the crown of the head is kind of aiming downwards towards the mat. And then finally, clasp your hands behind you if you can, if it feels comfortable. Lift them up, have a big stretch through the shoulders. Okay, release and come up. Let's take your hands down to the floor. Turn the feet out again. And then come in and kneel down. Wonderful. Okay, let's sit back onto our sit bones. Same thing here, you can have your legs crossed or wherever. We're just going to take the chin down to the chest again. And then you're going to clasp your hands or just place them gently on the back of the head. And so you're not pressing your head down, you're just placing your hands there. That's going to give you a little bit of extra encouragement, a little bit of extra stretch. It's very, very gentle, very, we're keeping much in tune with our neck and thinking about how that feels, okay? Okay, release and come up. I'm going to take the hand across, the arm across as straight as you can. Draw the arm in towards the body. Drop the right shoulder, sit up really tall and take a shoulder stretch. Good. And then switch sides, so take the left arm out, bring it across, close to the body but without lifting up too much. Good, wonderful. And then to finish off, just relax slowly down over the legs. Okay, we're going to come up. So we're just going to take some cleansing breaths to finish. So rest your hands on your knees or wherever is comfortable. Sit up nice and tall. Take a deep breath in through the nose. And then sigh out through the mouth. So again, a deep breath in. Big sigh out through the mouth. And then one more time, deep breath in. And sigh out through the mouth. Excellent. I hope you enjoyed our yoga session for the upper body. Hope you feel a little bit looser in your shoulders and your arms. And I hope I will see you again soon. Thank you.